What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the MindShare podcast. As always, I am your host, David Greenspan, and I want to thank you for being here today. This show is sponsored by Kids Keep in Touch Systems, as well as REM Real Estate Magazine. Learn more about our sponsors by visiting my site, mindshare101.com. And while you're there, be sure to download your free copy of my book, The Ultimate Marketing Bundle, as well as learn more about our one-to-one coaching and keynote speaking. Today's episode is number 259. She is the founder and CEO of the Londono Realty Group, Inc., one of the largest residential real estate brokerage firms in Montreal with over 100 real estate agents. Founded in 2007, they primarily focus on residential purchases and sales, but also offer a vast number of real estate services, including commercial transactions and retail leasing. With a background that includes an honourable discharge from the Canadian Armed Forces and a degree from McGill University, she and her family also starred on the syndicated television show The Property Shop on the HGTV USA Network. Determined to share her real estate stories and experiences with the world, she published her first book, Real Estate Unfiltered, in 2017. Outside of her success in the professional world, she's taken a leadership role in numerous philanthropic causes and nonprofit organizations. She established the Londono Pinto Gratitude Bursary for students with special needs, and she is also on the board of the Shield of Athena, a nonprofit organization for victims of family violence. With over 20 years of experience in the real estate industry, and along with her partner, colleagues, and family, she has helped build Londono Realty Group into a $1 billion real estate brokerage, making it one of the most successful independent brokerages in the country. Joining me on this episode of the MindShare podcast is founder and CEO of Londono Realty Group, Tatiana Londono. Tatiana,
hola.
Welcome to the
How
MindShare.
How are you?
Well, it's an honor to have you here. I'm excited to have you here today.
Please, it's my pleasure. Anytime. Nice to see you, David.
It really is good to see you. I know we sort of, I guess maybe in passing or spoke at a similar event last year at some point.
We posed together for several photos at our last live event.
Oh my God. You know what? It's crazy though. Like you go, you do all these events, you go around, you see all these different people, and it's like you take a lot of different pictures, do a lot of different videos. And well, anyways, it's nice to have you on the show.
Who would have thought that selling real estate could be this wild? I love it.
God, right? Yeah, I know. It makes every day interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes medicine interesting. So listen, I titled today's show, Achieve: How to Build a $1 billion Real Estate Business. Now, I'm going to say, as you do the little money sign, and I sit there talking about $1 billion, and I've told many people over the time, like over my years, I just want to make a bajillion. And everybody's like, oh, that's a lot of money. I'm like, I don't know how many zeros that has. But I was watching a recent video of yours, and your videos are fantastic. For anybody that does not follow her yet on TikTok and Instagram, you guys got to go follow her. Funny, informative, good value. But there was one where you said, money isn't everything, but it is, to a degree. What does this really mean to you?
So that's the most recent one. Like we published that one last week. And the thing is, I just want to be real with my audience. There's a lot of bullshit. Are we allowed to talk?
Oh, this is the MindShare podcast. You do what you want.
So there's a lot of bullshit being spewed out there. And the humble thing, people were afraid of money, back in the day, especially here where I live. And, you didn't talk about money. It was tacky. I'm sure, your parents were the same, how's business? Oh, we're trying, things could be better. You know what I mean? So, so money was taboo. Couldn't talk about it. So I think that's where that came from. Money isn't everything. Your health is. Well, the truth is that's all the stories I tell on my social media channels, on Reels, on Instagram, on TikTok, Instagram Reels, same thing. Facebook, YouTube. They're all true, real stories, things that I've lived and experienced. And the truth is, even in matters of health, having money, even when you're living in Canada, makes a huge difference. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe that, the Communist Manifesto. Money changes lives. With money, you buy experiences. Experiences make you happy. When you're happy, you don't get sick. Now, you get run over by a car. Hey, a poor person could get run over by a car. A rich person gets it. That's you're done. But if you don't have health, I would rather be someone sick with money than someone sick with no money. And that's basically what that video was about. Because the truth is, I'm going to say it, and we're here in podcast. I'll share it. My son, he got sick. My beautiful, wonderful, only son. He got sick. And I'm telling you, like I said in the video, if we had to wait there in the lineups for the hospitals and the doctor would have given him, okay, you could get a CAT scan in 6 months, God knows what would have happened. But because of connections, because of the money, because of donations that we've given, we got in right away. Is that unfair? Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody should have access the way I got access. But it's just not reality. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting, but it's the truth.
It's funny. You bring up Canada and the communism and all this stuff. And look, quite frankly, I couldn't agree more. It is stupid expensive. It is stupid expensive to live in this country, and it's only getting more expensive. Like, it's only getting harder. And this is even for people with money.
Exactly.
Right? Like no matter who you're talking to these days, you could be in any circle with anybody, and money is a major
grocery
topic.
bill. You're better off going to a restaurant nowadays than going to the grocery store. Pharmacy products, like a blush is like $25 when I used to get it.
I couldn't tell you about what blush is.
But everything has gone to the point where I know this sounds ridiculous, but sometimes the grocery order is way more than eating at a restaurant, a fine restaurant. I'm not talking about McDonald's. I'm talking about a fine restaurant. So it's definitely gotten tougher. So look, it's the same everywhere in the States as well. Prices have gone up.
I get what you mean by money isn't everything, but in some respect it is, right? And the one thing that I continue to reassure everybody about is that, try to reinforce, but mindset is massive, right? Understanding what you need to get up and do every single day. We are in business planning mode right now. And most people everybody we're working with has pretty much finished their business plans, as they should be by this time of the year. In preparation for the new year. And one thing that I say to everybody is, when we're going through that, when it comes to goals, the first thing that should be on your goal list is not money, right? It should be what you want personally. It should be those other desires that you have, those conversations you have in the mirror about who you want to be and where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. Money should be on that list. Just don't make it the top priority, because otherwise everything you do every single day revolves around solely money. And look, I'm with you. The more you have, the happier you could be, the less stressed out, the more opportunities there are out there. Much the same, we don't want to just measure ourselves based on that. We want to measure ourselves based on the entirety of everything we're trying to accomplish.
Well, the thing is, if you enjoy what you do and you start accomplishing your goals, the money just comes.
Well, there it is, right? And that's the other thing about the mindset. Now, that, there was another video where you had said, you liked it. Yeah, see, I watch this stuff. I'm watching. You had said, you have every single tool available to you to get out of that place that you don't need to be in.
That's right.
Tell us more, and very specifically, what are those tools that you are suggesting when you say that you have all those tools? Because I really loved it. That resonated with me. I derived my own sort of definition of what you were saying, but I thought, you're here, let's get you to expand on that.
Well, you could come from anywhere. Like, there's people who come from very, very wealthy families, generational wealth, and then they have kids that are lost, they're drug addicts, they end up being losers, just like you have these people who come from wealth and have children who then take the business to the next level. But then the great thing about the countries we live in America and in Canada, okay, we got to give it, sure, we pay a lot of tax here, but
Lots of tax.
We got it. We got it. It is what it is. It is
Too
what it
much.
is. I'm going to use that
Gotta change.
as a story. That's not my story. So even though we pay tax, we also have access to everything here. Okay. So the same way a wealthy person might have children end up losers, guess what? My parents came off a plane, not the boat. They came off a plane from South America looking to do better for themselves because, you know, Colombia in 1970 wasn't like that amazing at the time. So
Well,
now,
it was going
now it's kind of niche, but my parents came from nothing, and look at everything we have now. And that's because of the opportunities given to them in this country. And my father used these opportunities. My mother worked her ass off. These are opportunities you might not have. Well, they didn't. They didn't have these opportunities in South America at the time. They still don't have these opportunities. My virtual assistant is from Colombia. He's fantastic. He's talented. He's smart. But there are no opportunities for fantastic, intelligent, smart people with no connections over there, right? Here, you don't necessarily need connections to use the tools to get you to the next level. My father became a realtor. He was the first realtor in the family and started investing in real estate, learning about real estate investment. And that's, you know, that's how he had his forced savings, okay? But they came from zero, zero. So I'm the daughter of immigrants. Okay. I went to school. It was important for my father that I go to school. I went to school. I went to McGill. I finished at McGill and I went to the army, etc. I knew what hard work was.
What did you do in the army, by the way?
Oh,
did you fight? Like, were you like out there like
so
fighting?
General military training. I was a reservist and I was in the communications squadron and it was horrible.
Communications, go figure.
I hated it, but I did it. Why? See, I was listening to you about money. I'm very money driven.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it as money. I see it as everything I get if I have that money. So for me, it's not money. It's just something that I need to do. Just like going to the gym. Like, okay, you go to the gym to look good. You don't eat. It's just you know, the ends justifies the means. You know what I mean? It's like something, I don't see it as money like Scrooge. I see it as, okay, logically, more money, more opportunities, more experiences.
I don't disagree with that.
More people I can help and service. So that's how I see it. So anyway, the tools, we have access to everything. We have access to free education. We have access, especially nowadays, the kids are so lucky. We have access to money building, wealth building, education online for free. Okay? We have access to bankruptcy. If it doesn't work out and you get to start again, we get second chances here. They won't come after your entire life or potentially kill you. Or if you owe money, hey, guess what? You can go bankrupt and start again. We have access to freedom. Just the fact that I could go to school and learn, and that I could compete against Remax and the big boys out there in brokerage, being an independent and actually achieving something. This wouldn't happen in other countries. So we have everything we need. And unfortunately, our youth is being fed bullshit, okay? Being fed that none of this means anything, being fed that we should all live in a system where we all share. That's not happening anytime soon. And if it does, as I said in the video, one day, okay, I'll sign up if it works, but it hasn't worked. They've tried it in the past. Political systems like that. And there's always one greedy bastard who takes it too far and it just doesn't work. So for now, you are living. Let's live in the now.
Right now.
In a capitalist country. Take advantage of what government grants. When I say tools, okay? Government grants. Oh, you're a woman. Here, let me give you 200,000 interest free. Build something, because guess what? We have money here for that. Oh, okay, great. Give it to me. So many things. All you need to do. Oh God, we have access to the internet. We have access. So my coaching business. Nobody helped me build that.
Well, here I was going to say,
it on my own.
as you bring up access to the internet, you've got almost 3 million followers on TikTok and over 200,000 on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
You've built a $1 billion real estate company.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that your dad was in the business. You told me off air 20 years, but I was going to say to you, when did you get the license? So we know that.
20 years ago. So it was summer of 2003.
So here's the question. We didn't have social media back then. We had the internet, but we didn't have all the online connectivity that we got now. Right. And the way we communicated and all the ways we did things was very, very different. What was the absolute first thing that you did? Understanding this idea about money, understanding that mom and dad immigrated, understanding that you came to a country where there is opportunity. And we talk about all these tools. What was the first thing you did to start building MindShare so that you could actually go out and start your business?
So here we go, talking about money again.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't say I don't love money. In fact, I'm the first guy to tell everybody I love money. Love it.
It doesn't we need to stop demonizing money. It's okay. David, say it with me.
I tell you, I love money.
Money and really what it could bring us. So it's not the cash, it's the credits in the bank. We love cash, but that's another story. We did title this the $1 billion real estate business, so money's definitely a topic today. Yeah, we love what money gives us. I love that I didn't have to wait in line to get treatment for my son. I not love it. I just thank God, and everything's fine. He's fine now. Everything was fine. Okay. But if I was in the other system, the system that people who do not have access to resources, okay, that system there, God knows they would have misdiagnosed him. 1,000,000%. Okay. No one has time for second opinions. All right. So
that's part of the bigger issue around the healthcare system, but we'll save that for
I don't want to talk about that, but
exactly.
It's the same for everything. Education. Let's talk about education. My kids got the best education that my money could buy them. Okay. They went to private school. Guess how much that cost each? $25,000. Okay. So don't bullshit me. They have a better education than me. My daughter's smarter than I was. I went to a shitty public school. Mm-hmm. Okay. I hated my public school, and I'm allowed to say it. I'm glad they're available, but the kids, it's sad. But anyway, I know I sound like tone deaf, but I'm not. I live that other side, and it's okay to say I hated it.
Yeah.
I
think anybody living in it does hate it. Everybody wants more, and that's part of, again, what we're trying to achieve today. Because look, we look at it. You've built a successful company. You've built a brand that is recognizable across a number of different channels. It results in getting more dollars, and there's not a person listening to this right now that doesn't want to be in that same situation.
Exactly. So don't bullshit me. Shut up. You want to join Peace Corps? Good for you. Go do it. You still have to buy the plane ticket.
But here, what did you do? You got in early. Was it connecting with people? Was it putting your face on a billboard? What did you do?
So to answer your question, you want to know the truth, why I opened the agency? There was never some scientific method behind it. There was never hey, if I open a business and create this business plan and open the business and create jobs for people. No. It was about me. It was always about self-interest and what I could do to make more money.
Really, money? Tell us more about that, Tatiana.
Well, you have to understand, I came from necessity. It came from necessity. Again, the story we lost everything. My husband, the business had gone bankrupt, and we had no jobs. we were basically unemployed because we were always entrepreneurs. So at a young age, I knew I couldn't work for anyone. I'm very opinionated. I have a certain lifestyle that I like to keep where, you know, I'm opinionated, and I don't believe in working too hard. I work smart. But then when you love what you do, you don't care if you're working 24 hours doing it. So I guess I never found anything I was passionate about. So I didn't want to work for anybody. I thought I was going to become a lawyer because of my big mouth. I always had a big mouth. I was a great salesperson, always. And I said, okay, so what do I do? Like, we had lost everything. I didn't want to lose the house. We had given back the cars. It was so embarrassing. We had to give back the cars, the leases. So this traumatized me. And growing up as well, my father would come into money, and then there was no money. And then he'd come into money again. And then he was very extreme. So I lived that. And kudos to him, because that's who I am today. I'm like the best of him and the best of my mother. And so
was that a big aha moment for you in that?
So I didn't know why I was, and as you could say, I'm very money driven. I guess it took years to figure it out, like to say, okay, that's probably because when I was growing up, I went through such upheaval where we would be living in a beautiful house, and then suddenly we would move into some shitty apartment in the ghetto, and then we would go back to another beautiful house. And you know, and I always wanted to go to private school, and I didn't understand why I couldn't. I didn't get it. So I guess, yeah, that really affected me, but for the good. I said, okay, I'm not going to live like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure my kids don't live like that. It's not that I suffered. I had a fantastic childhood. I had friends. My parents fed me. They clothed me. I wasn't on the street begging for money, but I wanted more, and that's okay. I wanted more. I wasn't going to live the immigrant story of, you know, you continue being the immigrant. And no, I was going to take it to the next level and give the tools that this country gave me, and my parents, the tools my parents gave me, and make more for myself. So when I opened the agency, I was a real estate. So we started as a real estate agent because we needed money fast. Everything had been taken away from us, and we needed to pay the bills. And so we were using our savings, but what was going to happen when the savings ran out? What was the fastest way to make the most amount of money in the least amount of time? I say that in all my videos. My father told me, become a real estate agent. I had no interest in becoming a real estate agent. I didn't give a shit about architecture. I don't know how a house is made, but I took the program because my father said the commissions are insane. You don't need to know math. I don't need to know about the stock market. You just got to know how to sell, and you're a big mouth and you know how to sell. So, because I had dabbled in telemarketing and I was always great at it. Why? Because I knew the money to be made was huge. The commissions that they would pay me to sell these ridiculous directories were amazing. So my father says, anything in sales, you'll do well. So could you imagine if you sell a house? Right. They're worth hundreds of thousands up to $1 million. So I'm like, okay. So that was in 2003.
And how long did it take you back then to make your first 100K?
100K was 6 months. 126,000.
Okay.
July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah. So in 6 months, I made 126,000. That was in 2003. And so 2.5, 3 years into it, I was at an office. The owner was wonderful. He was beautiful. He was wonderful. I started at Remax. From Remax, I went to Sutton Group. Sutton, the guy was great. And he spoiled me. It was very nice. When I say spoiled, I meant he said hello to me in the morning. Hello, Tatiana. La belle Tatiana. Okay, they speak French here in Montreal. Salut, la belle Tatiana. All he had to say was hello to me. And I was loyal. Because at Remax, I wouldn't even get a hello. So anyway, I get to Sutton.
Now that's all going to be brokerage specific. That's going to be like the office
whatever. He was busy.
That's not necessarily the brand.
I pay attention, right? Service, right?
Service is important. That's the key, right? That you're going to get at different places from different people, right?
Exactement. So I go to Sutton because the service is fantastic. But there was the one freaking secretary, accounts payable, who was always delayed with my checks. Always delayed with my checks. And it's funny because
that's annoying.
Some of my agents will say today, well, why are we getting our checks? Now I get it. Like, you're supposed to put yourself in people's shoes, but maybe the check wasn't ready. Maybe the other agency hadn't paid, but I didn't like it.
Right.
I said, I'm not going to sit here begging for my money that I worked hard for. Let me just open my own agency. And that's how it started. And when I did that, so prior, I had appeared as a guest on a show called Buy Me. I don't know if you remember that show from 20 years ago. It was called Buy Me. No. It was on HGTV. The only way to get home and garden TV in those days was HGTV. Right. So there was this show called Buy Me. They asked if I wanted to be on it. I thought, wow, I'm special. And I said, okay, I'll be on this show as a guest. They didn't even pay. And all the other real estate agents laughed at me and said, Tat, they're asking every real estate agent in the city to be on this freaking show. Stop wasting your time. Time is money. I'm like, time is money. But I got a feeling the time that I spend on this show is going to bring me money because there are millions of viewers on this show. I did my research. Yeah. It was a top 3 show on HGTV and then became the #1 show on HGTV. It was called Buy Me. And I did 1 episode of Buy Me. Meanwhile, I'm saying I want to go to school because I need to get paid on time. And I'm just going to open my own brokerage. I thought it was just going to be me and a couple of agents that I hung out with and we'd have fun. Meanwhile, I do the episode on Buy Me. The producers love it so much that I get called from Cineflix Films in Toronto. And no they also have, yeah. And they offer me Sandra Rinomato's, like, she ended up getting it, but I was the first to get Property Virgins. Okay.
Sandra's been on this show as well.
That's right. So we know each other very well. Been to dinner several times because we're both on HGTV at the same time. So I was supposed to be Property Virgins, but it was shot in Toronto. I'm from Montreal. So I said no to Property Virgins. And then I told the people who put me on Buy Me, and they really wanted me on Property Virgin, this personality, it would still be on, you know what I mean, if I was there. But, well, no offense to Sandra. I love Sandra. Mm-hmm. And so I had to say no because it was in Toronto. I had 2 little kids. They wanted me to move there. They were going to give me everything, They were going to give me an apartment, car, clothing. They had money. So I said, okay. And then I said, I've changed my mind. I said, I can't do it. But then I told the producers of Buy Me, guess what just happened to me with Cineflix, their competitors. And they're like, you can't go with them. We're going to give you your own TV show. Meanwhile, I'm taking my course. So they're like, I said, so what's the TV show going to be about? He goes, well, you're opening your own agency. Let's make it about that. And the rest is history.
And so the agency opened how many years ago?
It's going to be 16 years now. 16.
Okay. Got it. So you made that quick. You made that move pretty quickly.
Immediately, like 3 years in, like 2007 we opened. Yeah. 2007.
Okay. So, here's a question on that then, because we got a lot of agents that you've got your agents who are brand new in the business that have pretty much zero direction coming out of college with their license and have nowhere to go. And some folks are, again, born talented in terms of sales, gift of the gab, just understand the hustle, understand what they got to do. There's a lot of folks that come out that don't understand it. Now, kind of moving past like those first year individuals, but getting to that individual who's like 5 years in the business, it seems, and you did it a little bit earlier than, let's say, the 5-year mark, but you went, I got to go next level. I got to do something different. I'm going to go open up my own.
Yeah,
what I was going to ask, the 3 years, right? So what I was going to ask you though, anybody who's been in the business 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, somebody who's looking to kind of go to that next place, they've started to build up the systems. They're not necessarily having all the success in the world that they want. They're doing well, but there's a next level.
Yeah.
What would you suggest that they've got to do to get to that next level or earn their first million?
They have to hire an admin assistant. So that's the first.
Is that #1 for you? Like hire somebody to help you?
Yeah, you got to leverage. And you only have to do that when you're hitting around, you do that when you're hitting about 300,000, like statistically, and meaning statistically at 300,000, that's when you start going crazy. So when you start going crazy and you're working during dinner time and you're coming home at 10 o'clock at night, and then when you come home, you're still writing up paperwork and you're taking calls when you shouldn't, and you're worried to go on vacation, your first hire. So it's called leverage. So you got to leverage. So a lot of these real estate agents don't know how to leverage. #1, because they think they can't afford it. #2, or they just don't want the
Most people think they can't afford.
They can't afford it.
Like when
Number
you say
two,
like go hire an admin, oh, like that's an expense.
it's an
No,
expense.
that's
So
going to
they
be an
see it as,
investment.
I have to pay. Exactly.
Well, it's the same
It's
thing
an
like hiring a
investment.
coach. It's an investment. It's the same thing
Yes.
like right now, even in today's market, with the way things are going out there, people are struggling. People are having tough times. Many people, so people are pulling back on marketing. But
I
again,
think it's
that's
a
not an
mind.
expense. That's an
I have
investment.
my theory about the market. I think it's a mindset thing. I tested it. It's always the same. Even last
Tell
year.
us. Yeah.
Well, let's answer the other question first. So the
Okay, go
first
for
thing,
it.
so that
Yep.
they learn.
Like
So
that.
number one, whoever's watching. So first thing, so when you're going crazy, husband's yelling at you, or wife's.
Why is it got to be the husband?
Hey man, come to bed already. That's what I got. Come to bed already. You're with the family. Hang up the phone. Meanwhile, the man is out. I'm working. What do you want from me? I'm working. I'm trying to make a buck here. Leave me alone. You know, Hormozy will say, you got to get, we all know who Hormozy is.
Yeah.
I will quote him anywhere I go until the new flavor of the month comes along. But Hormozy,
I can't understand the nose thing, but anyways.
does he snore? Like, I don't
know.
understand.
I don't get it. Like
I don't either. It's his thing. It's not for me. I'd rather my thing be my hair.
Well, you don't like the little
Not a thing on my nose.
You don't want to walk around with that.
But Hormozy says that your wife has to be your cheerleader. And does the cheerleader leave when the team is losing? Well, guess what? The same thing for women who work. Who are our cheerleaders? You know, like the man. So we listen, just like the money thing, my money theories, we live in a society where guys get a free pass and women won't. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't give a crap. Look where I am today. I don't care. I like men being men, women being women. But let's not go there. That's for sure.
Well, that's a deep one right there. That can go deep.
I'm not going there. So with that said, admin. So when you're going crazy, and the kids are like, "Mommy, where are you, Mommy? Come home, Mommy." So when the kids start with that, it's time to hire an admin assistant. When you hire an admin assistant, just one admin assistant, you'll go from 300,000 statistically to 600,000 if you're doing the exact same thing and putting in the same effort. So now you're at $600,000. Okay. Then, only your prospecting is going to drive you crazy. So the paperwork is taken care of. Your prospecting, at this point, you can't handle it anymore because those buyers take too much time. And what you should be focusing on are listings, properties to sell in any market.
Yep. Even today's market. And
that's so you're at 600K. This is where you bring in the buyer's agent. So only at around 600K, you're supposed to bring in the buyer's agent.
So your bogey was 300K you're making. Now you got to go get an admin. You move yourself to 600. You go get yourself a buyer agent.
Get yourself the buyer's agent. That should take you to $1 million. It's that simple.
Okay. There you go.
But in order to organize yourself properly for property sales, you need to invest in your system. So leverage and systems. Your CRM better not be an Excel spreadsheet.
Well, I was going to say like daily non-negotiables, right? Because we talk about this because it's one thing to say, okay, when I get to 300, well, to get to 300, you need a system. And I love the fact that you emphasize CRM because that's the same thing I say. Your smartphone is smart, but it's not smart enough.
Exactly.
An Excel spreadsheet ain't going to do anything for you.
No.
You need a system that's going to help you automate. Help you systematize, help remind you, help remember for you because you're not going to remember it all.
I have a coaching program and I have members of this coaching program who have signed up, and thank God they did. They took action, making millions of dollars in GCI and taking home over $1 million net. And they are still using Excel spreadsheets because the excuse is, but I just want to do things the old way. Like, this is the way, like this, I'm making money this way.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. Yesterday, I was speaking to one of the top members of my team. I can't make the calls. I can't do the calls. Can't make the calls anymore. I go, girl, if you can't make the calls, you better retire.
Yeah, you're done.
Because that's all we're supposed to be doing, making calls. So if I have to make your calls and I have to give you your leads and I have to go see the sellers too, what the fuck do I need you for?
But listen, this is the thing that I say to everybody in this business. Your job is to go out there and speak to people,
That's
to
what we're
build
supposed to
relationships
do.
with other people, talk to people. Oh, but I don't know what to say. Try this. Say hello. Ask them how they're doing.
Conversation. And the thing is, because of coaching, we are so, brainwashed into following the script. And I get that, because you can't
I
create
don't
a
like
system,
scripts.
right? You
I
can't
don't like
create,
scripts.
right? I get what you're saying, but you can't teach without the script, because where you start. But the script should only be a skeletal structure, an outline on expanding a conversation. Where do you start? These are the three key elements of the conversation: your intro, okay, and your intro, and then your offer, and I'm missing my middle. What's my
Hey, listen, making conversation. I'll tell you, I think that there's a few touch points in a year that you make to people, and out of some of those touch points, none of it has to do with sales, because
Sorry.
just the simple
You're driving me crazy.
conversation.
Listen, no, it's not simple. Intro,
Yeah.
okay, and then you have to ask the probing questions. Look, I'm turning red. I'm like, what the
Yes,
hell?
it is probing.
Your tattoos are making me nervous, David. So your intro, your probing questions, and your offer. Okay. So once you have those three things, and you make sure you mention those three things, like you're using those three things, you have back to what you're saying, a real conversation with people. You need to have a real conversation. You cannot just follow the script. People could see right through you. You're going to sound like a telemarketer. So
can I tell you, I had a lady one day. She says to me, I signed up with this program. And I said, why? She goes, because they gave me these, like, all this stuff. I said, like, what? She goes, what? Like, they gave me these cue cards. I'm like, what's on the cue card? She goes, well, it tells me what to say. I'm like, let me get this straight. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to call a guy like me, and you're going to look at a cue card for what to say. Because the minute I smell that, I'm going to take you in such different turns and spin you around so many times. You're not going to know which cue card to look at. So again, I'm not big on scripts. I'm not at all. But I do believe there's got to be an innate.
Because then you can't grow your team.
Well, there's got to be an innate ability.
It's just an outline, just like saying.
I will give you that. The outline I'm fine with.
It's an outline. So in school, the teacher used to say, here is your outline. I need you to write me an essay on what you did during your summer holiday. So it's the same thing. This is the script. I need you to follow it and learn what the structure of the script is, and then have a real conversation, making sure you use the outline in this script.
Right.
But the issue is, and this is why I brought it up, is they don't know how to have conversation. Like you just said with the cue card. They don't know how to speak to people anymore. And then the realtors who are veterans, especially after the pandemic.
That thing.
Okay.
The thing.
Yeah, can't say it out loud or else they won't promote this. True. So those people, realtors that have been in the business, they just don't even want to have a conversation anymore. They're tired of it. They're tired.
Yeah.
But that's it. Then it's time to go. It's time to go. Because real estate, the reason that robots have not taken over real estate sales yet.
Ooh, yet.
Well, you never know. They might invent some gorgeous robot who looks exactly like me. And that shows properties better than I do. You know what I mean? So
come on, is that even possible?
The truth is, a monkey could show a property. It's lead generation. But that's another story. But yeah, you need to have conversations with people, or else this business is not for you. So if you're an introvert, this isn't for you.
And I'm with you. I had a lady one day. I was doing a training, and live training. We were in front of people, like in a room. And this one lady says, no. Because I said, you got to talk to people. You got to go see people. You got to meet people, whatever. She goes, oh, I go to the grocery store very late at night. I said, why? She goes, I don't like people. I looked at the broker, the owner, the managers. I says, I'm really sorry for this right now. I looked right at her. I'm like, you got to get out of the business. This ain't for you. Right? Because if you don't want to have conversations with people, it's not going to work. But as we talk about non-negotiables in this business, in order to make the money that you want to make, whether it's $1 million, $1 billion, whatever it is, you got to talk to people.
Exactly.
Now,
but I do believe in the rock star theory.
Okay. Tell me.
That's my theory.
Like the crazy hair, like guitar and all that?
The
Or
rock star theory to me is, or the performer, that you're a
okay.
performer. So you may hate people
Yeah.
or not like people, but then you're a rock star. You're performing. You're an actor. So you could be the best performer. And then when you go home, that's it. You turn off the phone. You don't want to talk to anyone. It could be that you're acting and you could be the best actor.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're going to have to talk to people. You might be acting and hate people, and you're a great actor. That would work as well. But why would you want to be spending your day doing something with people you hate? I don't. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I know what you mean, and the way I look at it, it's funny because I was at an event. I was at an event in Dallas earlier this year,
Yeah.
and we were speaking, a whole bunch of us there, and like a bunch of us who actually get on stages for a living in front of big groups of people.
Yeah.
And we all agreed we are the most introverted extroverts there are. Because when we're not on, turning the switch on, we actually want to be a little bit quieter. I don't want to speak as much. I kind of want to do my own thing. I kind of want to be in my own place. Yet the minute it's time to, like, it's go time, yo, I don't care how many people are in front of me. I love that moment. I love being in front of people. I love helping people. I love being able to motivate people to get to their next level. Yeah.
Yes. And then, but then when you, so not everybody's like this, but I'm exactly like this. And this is where I get my rock star theory.
Yeah.
So the rock star theory is this: I am performing. I'm a performer. Okay. And I'm great at it. But when I get home, so people assume immediately Pat's an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert. I'm not an introvert, but I really love being with my family, and that's about it.
I'm with you.
I have a select amount of friends, very small amount, and I will spend twice a month with them, go for dinner, and that's about it. I want to be with my family. I want to be with my husband. I want to be with, I get along very well with my ex-husband. So we're all a big crew, and his wife and her daughter, we're a crew. That's it. I want to watch TV. I want to zone and veg out.
Yep.
And the next day starts, and I'm the rock star again.
Here, speaking of rock star, you look, you've killed it on social media, and I say that in a very positive and congratulatory way. I think it's awesome. One thing that we hear from a lot of people, because I would say, as we talk about non-negotiables, I would say a big non-negotiable as we talk about conversations, I always compare social media to like walking into the coffee shop. You just don't have to leave your house. You have an opportunity to speak to a lot more people, build a lot more MindShare, develop more relationships. Now, there's a lot of people, though, that are fearful. They don't want to post because they're scared of what people might say.
I can't believe that.
Really?
No, I just can't believe that after all the videos that are out, they're still afraid.
I know, but this is where I'm going with it, right? Yeah. So I was going to pose to you of just even the comfort of getting on video for anybody that might go, okay, she's an inspiration, or okay, I'm going to follow her, I'm going to watch her, because again, you're not very recluse on your videos. Like your videos, you're out there, you're excited, but it's energetic, and it's compelling to stay watching it for the 30, 60 seconds, whatever the video is.
Right.
You'll draw us in. Okay, yeah, I can watch her for 30 seconds as opposed to, so here's the things that you shouldn't do in real estate. And it's like, oh my God, really? Like I'm hurting watching. So look, you've got incredible.
What's your sign, David?
What?
What's your sign?
My sign, Capricorn.
Oh, that's why you're born in January?
Yes. Why?
Oh,
what do you mean that's why? That's why what?
Because I'm born in January. I'm almost a Capricorn. I'm not an Aquarius. I'm at the 23rd of January. But you are reading my mind. The example,
January 17th. So we're not far from each other at all.
My brother's birthday.
Come on.
My brother,
really?
Alexander Londono, was born on January 17th.
You know who else was?
Who?
Al Capone.
No.
I just think that's cool. But video.
That's the example I always give. The example you just did of, hello, today's market report is January.
Or you get the people that are like, the politicians, right? right? Or they don't even know which pocket to put their hand in, and they kind of lean in there. It's really awkward. You get like, it's uncomfortable to watch. But part of
It
what
is.
I try to empower people to do is, one, to understand that after that thing, everybody is
thing.
now on video.
Yeah.
Everybody, you should be
Yeah.
totally comfortable. And it doesn't matter even if you're not comfortable, like screw up, it's okay. Because the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. How did you get comfortable on video? What would you tell to anybody right now who's got a fear of getting on video, a fear of posting on social media? I had somebody in a training yesterday, like, what happens if you get trolled? I'm like, if you get trolled, it means people are watching. This is a good thing.
Oh my God, they almost tried to cancel me. Anyway, that's another story. But I guess I was always great at it. So that's why I got the TV show.
Okay.
That's why I did well on Buy Me.
So more of just an innate thing, like characteristic within you.
It's innate. Well,
Okay.
but wait, nothing's innate. It's bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Again, my parents.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta go back and who we are.
Did you read the book Outliers?
Yes, I did.
That, like, right there, what you just said, that takes me right to there.
Right. I love that book. Isn't it a great book?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, there were certain stories I listened to. I was like, really, why am I hearing every nook and cranny detail of this? But then when you, obviously, they'll summarize the entire book, you understand why you learned all those little details.
Exactly.
And it just reminded, when you just said that, my parents, it was like,
yeah,
there it is.
It's never like a freak accident. Like he was talking about the planes, Malcolm Gladwell.
Gladwell. Yep.
And he's talking about, no, it wasn't that the plane exploded. It's just every single time it was the pilot that freaking was inexperienced, that but yeah, every once in a while you have your outlier, but not really. The best hockey players, they were all born in January. You know what I mean?
That was crazy for me, because I love my hockey. I love my baseball. And I was like, January. I'm like, so I should have been in the NHL.
You should have.
Like, what happened?
So what a great book, and absolutely correct. So Outliers. Is it innate? It's not innate. My parents, because they couldn't afford childcare, and it wasn't part of our thing. Like, it wasn't the immigrant thing to do. You didn't give your kids to nannies or anything, like babysitters.
Yeah.
So if there wasn't a family member around to help, they needed to put you, at least my parents did this, they put me in like some community center activity. And so they signed me up to drama school when I was in grade 4. And
now it all ties together.
So that's probably what it is. I'm thinking about it. It was not innate. I thought it's innate. No, it's not innate. When I was in grade 1, I wanted to be part of the speech competition. Actually, I was a real introverted child. And my father made me practice that speech inside out. I still know it till today. It was about the caribou. The caribou is a kind of deer that lives in the Arctic. In Europe, they're known as the reindeer. They feed on leaves and grass in the summer, but in the winter, anyway, so I still know it off by heart because my father drilled that speech into me. He told me how to stand. He told me to speak to hundreds of people. So, and I won that speech competition in grade 1. Then I went again in grade 4, and I kept going. And then my parents put me in drama, not because they said she's going to be an actress. No, because they needed childcare. And so they would put me in gymnastics, swimming. They would put me in everything. Also, not only childcare, they wanted me to be exposed to that. They didn't want me sitting in front of the TV set eating all day. So they wanted me to get physically active. They wanted me to learn new things. My parents were pretty badass. And so and remember, we didn't have the resources, but there was always, I was raised in Toronto. Yeah. And so there was always amazing. I don't know, because I came here at 14, but in Toronto, there were so many things going on for kids when I was growing up. And so, I never
that got you comfortable with the camera.
I think that's what it is. Because I was always, so when I got that opportunity with Buy Me, I ignored the camera. And I just said what I had. That's another thing. I've never had a filter. And the masses would think, well, that's crass. That's unclassy. What kind of lady is she? But that's what people like. People want real. And that's the first thing I get. I love you because you're real.
So I don't know what
that means.
Are you coming up with your own content then? Like when you think about these, is that just you, like being you?
No, the truth is it's my son.
Okay.
My son.
Is he doing the editing as well?
He does the editing. Yeah, he does
Cool.
everything. Notice how my editing isn't that complicated. My coach.
It doesn't need to be though, does it? Right? Like, right?
No, and I get upset and I go, why am I getting upset? Whenever I get a text message from somebody saying, I could do your editing, I could see it needs work, I want to say, have you even looked at how many followers I have, you moron? But then I go, no, it's just a mass email. Like, it's not, they're not being. Anyway,
simmer down, Tatiana, simmer down.
I have to simmer.
Right.
Simmer. I have to simmer.
So, but what would you say to people if they're scared, if they're shy, if they're fearful, if they're sitting here right now going, I don't know how he does it, I don't know how she does it, like how are they so comfortable with this camera staring at them and all these people staring? What do you say? Just do it? Like, is this a Nike thing of just do it?
It's a not necessarily. Well, you got to do it. So it's a non-negotiable. You need video to market any business now, not only real estate. If you own a product, or so you create a product, you created a makeup, a perfume, you came up with a perfume idea, you need to be on video. You want to sell a book, you need to be on video. You have the latest little gadget that will sell out at Christmas, you need video. So, so as a realtor, because that's my experience, I'm a real estate agent, you need to be on video. You have no choice. So that's number one, because the same way we had our TV sets and newspapers prior in the past, we now have our phones. People wake up with this thing and they go to sleep with this thing, and they're in their car getting tickets because they were looking at this thing when they shouldn't have. They have their phone with them at all time. When you don't have your phone with you, you feel like you're missing an organ. Okay, so because everybody's on their phone, what's the smart thing to do to market yourself? Be on the phone. However, now to answer your question, you may not be that goddess in front of the camera. You may be a man who's uncomfortable in front of the camera. So there are other ways of being in front of the camera. There are other ways in pushing your message. Use something else. So for example, many, and I'm sure you've seen them, many property tours, the agent's not in it. They just show the property. The door opens on its own, and you can make it fun with a great soundtrack and show what the beautiful and sometimes you'll see even just a glimpse of the agent. Sometimes you don't, and the door opens for itself. Oh, but I don't sell luxury. Who cares? You could use, if you don't want to use your own voice, use the computer voice that the different editors will give you in the app. So Instagram or CapCut for TikTok, or just the TikTok app, whatever. There's so many. And there's those cute little computer voices say, this is what a $300,000 home looks like in Toronto. People want to know. Mm-hmm. Does that even exist? I don't even think so.
Yeah, no, 300,000. That's what completely threw me out. Like, wait, what? Where?
This is what a farm looks like outside, an hour away from my home. And so you don't even have to be on it. Market statistics, you don't have to be there, but you can make a great video showing the market statistics that keeps people looking. You don't have to be on video, but you need to produce video.
Okay, cool. Now, is video the only thing we do? Like, do you still believe print advertising works in this business?
I think print advertising works in really niche segments of the city.
Like your contact list specifically?
Well, not really. I think more like, okay, if this one neighborhood still prints a community paper,
so some farming
with an older demographic, it'll work there.
Okay. But video is not the be all and end all of your business.
No, I have 25 lead generation systems.
Okay. Like online lead generation systems?
Yeah. I love Facebook ads, like paid.
Okay.
They're freaking amazing. The standard free home evaluation. I love that.
You love that, eh? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So you're seeing, yeah, you've built the team though. You've got people helping you with that stuff in terms of, running the ads, but then also the team that's below you, buyer reps and people that can actually funnel and support it. And that's the difference there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And nowadays in this market, because the market, I told you it's a mindset thing. And I said, we'll touch on that later. What I mean is, I think it's all mindset. I think what's going on, okay, so interest rates are going up. Yes, they're higher than they've ever been. But people who need to sell, and people who have to buy. There's always going to be buyers and sellers in any market. Remember, when we were young, you were probably not born yet. But when I was...
Why, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, David. How old are you, David?
See why you got to go there. I like the first part of it.
Well, David.
I'm not shy. 42.
You're a young boy. Yeah. So in the 80s, see, I was already thinking, and I knew what was going on. And I was looking at my parents saying, oh, do we have issues here? The interest rates went to 15%.
Yeah, I do recall.
And somehow people were still buying and selling properties then. Oh, yeah, but the cost of properties were then. No, it wasn't. People weren't making as much money as they are today. Okay, yeah, but if you were to, really do the... Shut up. If you were to do the math, proportionately, our cost of living has gone up, but our salaries haven't gone up. Whatever. I know my father was a machinist in the 80s, and he didn't know when the next freaking payment was coming in. And he knew he had to pay that mortgage with the new interest rates. I'm sorry. It is completely comparable. When you compare 15% to 6%, come on. So back to my theory. Mm-hmm. I think it's a mindset thing because the truth is we had interest rates as high as 6%. I don't know, 2014, 2015, around there. They were high. They weren't 3, they weren't 2, they weren't 1.5. Mm-hmm. So what happened is we got used to low interest rates. So the banks were giving away money. And yeah, let's use it, rightfully so. If the banks are giving away money, you're living for free in a beautiful house. That's fantastic. So banks were giving away money. The thing that we can't mention came and people want to spend more time at home. So that caused the housing thing to keep going. Mm-hmm. And so money's free, you know what? And because people heard that interest rates were going to go up because who was going to pay for all this free money that was being given out, people were running to buy. So we know all that happened. So real estate agents had it easy. And then the immigration, they all started coming here because Canada, good country, good private school. So everyone was buying here. So we had all that going for us. So 2018, 19, 20, well, we weren't sure what was going to happen. So it went down. And then suddenly it went crazy. Right. So where are we? 18, 19, 20, 21. We're like, And then the last hurrah was beginning of 2022 when that's it. Interest rates started going up. So now all we need to do is say, okay, the party is over. Let's go back to 2015, 2016, 2017, where interest rates were higher. And it took a year to sell a property with a couple of reductions in between. Life isn't as easy as it was for the past 5 years. Got to work. Got to go back to work. That's nothing. People forgot how to go back to work. Yeah, people don't want to work, right? I was talking to my team member yesterday, and she was like, I don't want to take calls anymore. Yeah, you don't want to take calls because for 5 years, you were lead receiving. And
Isn't it amazing, though, how everybody wants to build this billion-dollar business, but nobody wants to work to put the effort in? Like, I mean, if there's anything that I've learned, and we talked about one book, I think we might have mentioned a few books on today's show, but for all the books that I read, and I imagine you read a lot of books as well, like you hear a lot of the same stories. And if I boil one of those sort of like common denominators down, it's like, you must put in effort if you want to get results. It is that simple. And if you're not going to put in the effort, don't expect the results.
Listen, a wise man, I'll say Hormozy again. So for a long time, I saw the trend on TikTok and on Instagram. Don't work hard, work smarter. Don't have to work too hard. This is how I make $50,000 a month. This is how I make $100,000 a month. Yeah, that was easy when they were giving away money and there was nothing to do at home. So everyone was buying online courses and everybody was buying online Amazon and everybody was buying online because they were giving away money, literally, and there was nothing to do at home. But the truth is, I'm sorry to disappoint everybody, but if you want to make consistent $1 million every single year minimum, or you want to be a baller and make tens of millions of dollars, you need to work. You need to show up. You need to have those conversations. You need to work. Yesterday, I met a guy. He came in to speak in my class, and I coach real estate agents. And so this gentleman, his name is Ozzy Ramirez. He's a team leader. He was in and out of jail when he was 17. He was getting into trouble. He had no future, according to the masses. This guy was going to end up in jail. He was in Texas. And you know what? He met his wife, changed his life, found God. He changed his life. And today he's a top team leader out of Houston, Texas. And he works his ass off. He goes, I'm too young to be thinking about stepping away and leveraging the whole business. He goes, I love what I do because I'm in my 40s. I want to do this for another 20 years. I want to double down. And he says, and when I'm meeting with clients, I want to win. I want to get that contract. I want to make sure that I sell their home. And his love and his drive to work was inspiring. We need to go back to work, people. Yeah, I know we're technically back at work. No, we're not. Half of the people I know are still working from home. Half of the agents from my agency are still like working in their underwear. My bankers, they're still working from home. What is going on? It is time to go back to work. Whatever happened to work? It's time to work. People forgot to work. They think that money comes easily in abundance. They think that they could. And now I understand what Hormozi says when he says, affirmations aren't going to pay your bills.
I would agree with that one for sure. Right. There's you got to write that down. You got to journal. You got to know what your goals are. But if you just think that that's all it's going to do it's not. It's got to come down to brass tacks. You got to put the effort in.
The agents are used to lead receiving. It's time to go back to lead generation. It's time to go back to old fashioned real estate lead generation service and closing deals. It's over. That's it. The market is enormous. And we're lucky that it's not a buyer's market. It's still a seller's market. That's a blessing, guys. We want the listings. We don't want to be dealing with these crazy buyers all day long. So let's just get with the program. And interest rates will come down, they say, in 2025. Yep. But we got to deal with this year coming up. And how do we deal with it? Longer mandates, correct price point, and more listings. So if you only lived off 20 and that could pay your bills and gave you what you wanted to be comfortable, 20 listings, 20 properties to sell on average throughout the year, now you're going to need 40 because it's going to take long. The sale does not happen over asking in one day anymore. They're sitting on the market longer. And guess what? That's normal.
I was about to say that's a very normal market, right?
Yeah.
Now,
sorry, I'm very passionate.
No. You know what? I like it, and I'm. We got to do a round 2 on this because there's a lot of other questions. There's a lot of other questions to dive in deeper, but I like the insights. But if we fast forward to the end of your day, you shut down, you're done. Shut down for the day. How do you know it's been a successful day for you?
Do you know what? It's a successful day when I actually accomplished everything in my mundane to-do list. So it could be really mundane. It could be my accountant needs access to my bank account as an admin. Mm-hmm. It could be go through the new website to make sure that you like the font. I don't like having those things in the back of my mind. So if I'm able to clear my mind, it's been a successful day.
Okay.
Because I believe in lists. I believe in time blocking. So if so because I time block and I list, I need to, if that's all done in a day, I go to sleep in peace.
We're going to dive deeper on that next time because that is like my DMO. That's my method of operation. The schedule only allows for so much time. There's only so much we can accomplish. Make sure you know what it is, get shit done, and be able to look back on that and say, you know what? I killed it today. I did really good. I'm going to go do it again tomorrow. And that for me personally is fuel. That's 100%. Fuel.
100%. And another thing is I really believe in taking action. People don't take action. They plan too much and then they don't do anything. Just take action. And I don't mean the broader sense of the word. Take action, Nike, just do it. Yeah. I mean, if there's something you're putting off because you think, it's not ready, but just do it. I promise you'll make it get ready. And so big example, my coaching program. So I upped it and I made it better. I fixed what I thought, nothing was broken, but I just thought we could make it better. And so I fixed it. And everyone's telling me about my landing page. The landing page isn't ready yet. The landing page isn't ready yet. Oh, the message on your landing page. I'm like, screw the landing page. I have 3 million followers on social media. Half of them are real estate agents. I'm just putting an organic ad up and I'm starting. And I did
That is better than perfect.
Exactly.
And there's no definition of perfect. There's no like true word of that.
The landing page, I finally filmed the video last week. I'll fix it next week. We're not... And I took action. You got to take action. Just do it. Hurry up, do it. You're waiting too long.
There was sort of that question there, like final words for anybody who wants to make $1 million, make $1 billion, whatever it be, find success in this game. What words do you have for anybody? Final words of wisdom here that anybody can use to help themselves build some more mind share so they can get some more market share.
So specifically about this business or any business?
Yeah, I'd say specifically, look, we're going to isolate to the real estate industry to some degree, but I want to go even a little bit broader to anybody who actually owns a business.
Okay. So whatever it is that you want to do. So my husband's always saying, I work in this corporate job and I can't find the time. It's not true. Just go do it. Be curious and try it. What's the worst that could happen? We started talking about this in the beginning. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, you have to close the company? Who cares? Go do what you need to do. And not everybody's an entrepreneur. I completely understand. But maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to get that better body going. You want to try that keto diet. Maybe you want to do a little bit of everything. But just go ahead. There is enough time in the day. Do it. Just go try it. You want to go live in Mexico or in Costa Rica for 6 months? Trust me, it's attainable. I am living proof that anything you dream of, you can achieve. And these things don't end. Don't limit your own mind and your own goal setting. Like, but do I really want that? 10 million, that's unrealistic. We start questioning our own sanity and our own dreams. We're like, $10 million, but that's too much. What are you talking about? This is you. Just say it. Just do it. It'll come to you. And it's not only about money. It could be about children. It could be about traveling. It could be about why you spend more time skiing. Whatever it is, do it. What's the worst that could happen?
Couldn't agree more.
What's the worst that could happen?
Couldn't agree more. Tatiana, this has been fun. Never mind just inspiring, informative, educational. It's been fun. I thank you for all the insights today as we talked about achieving and how to build $1 billion real estate business, and we covered a lot of ground today. And there was a lot of ground we didn't cover. So round 2,
anytime,
coming up.
Anytime.
But with all that being said, I thank you sincerely for making the time to join us today on the MindShare podcast.
Please, at your services.
I'll talk to you shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Ciao.
You are either listening to this on one of your favorite podcast platforms. Maybe you went to my website, mindshare101.com. While you're there, don't forget to get your free copy of the Ultimate Marketing Bundle. This is a 31-page ebook. It's got a free 90-day social media content calendar, so no excuses. All of it in an effort to help you build more mind share so that you get more market share. A reminder as well that if you want to talk about personalized one-to-one coaching, an in-person keynote talk for your upcoming event, and or ongoing virtual training, just get in touch with me and my team. We'll set up a consultation call, learn about what you're looking to achieve and how we are going to help you do just that. Again, for all inquiries, just get in touch with us today. Of course, don't forget to review this podcast at www.ratethispodcast.com/mindshare101. That'll take you to your favorite podcast platform. You can give us a big 5 stars, nice review. We'd be super grateful if you did that. And connect with me on Facebook at MindShare101 and on Instagram at DavidGreenspan101. Just before we take off, I want to thank Kits Keep in Touch Systems and REM Real Estate Magazine for sponsoring this episode of the MindShare podcast. Be for sure to visit our site to learn more about what these powerful companies will do to help you grow your business. This has been another episode of the MindShare podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We are off the air. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. I'm a little outspoken, but
Yeah, but I love the way you said, like, "Am I allowed to swear?" I say that they're like, "This is the MindShare podcast." We have fun with this podcast.
good,
Yeah.
good. Swearing isn't necessarily fun, but I have a potty mouth. Are you Jewish?
I am. How did you catch that?
David Greenspan, are you
Oh,
kidding?
okay, cool. No, it's funny because, like, there's, like, certain, like, pieces of the ink that actually have my
I
children's
can't see
names in
the Hebrew,
Hebrew.
but
So it's funny that you brought that up.
no, but I thought you were Italian initially, and then I go, how could you
My
be
wife
Italian?
is Italian, so, like,
Ah,
the other half of my family's Italian. Her and I, she just told the kids yesterday that
so your
come
kids are Jewapi.
yeah, I mean, she converted, so they're, like, 100% Jew, but we're total,
Oh,
like, Jew-offs for sure.
yeah.
And then they get the best of both worlds, right? Like,
Yeah, my
Wonder
husband.
bread and biscotti and
We're
Chickavatina
the
and, like,
same. My
schnitzel.
husband is the same as your kids. So his
Okay.
mom's Italian
Yeah.
and his dad's Jewish,
Okay.
and it's a lot of fun. We go to
You know
Italy.
what? My kids get spoiled at the holidays,
Yeah.
spoiled like crazy. Both
Yeah, they do the
families.
Hanukkah and they do Christmas.
Yeah, but the families, you know what? We got really fortunate. Our families, like our parents they get together. Like they
Oh,
hang
that's
out, which is
nice.
really, really cool.
Oh,
Uh,
that's nice.
it is really, really awesome. You know, the kids are well rounded, which is a lot of, you know, it's just it's nice, right? They're good kids. They're growing up well. They got a ton of support. You know, we're fortunate. We're very fortunate. And
What do you
Jennifer
think
just
about what's going on in Toronto?
look,
I
that's
can't,
another level of shit. And
I
I'll tell you
can't
that
believe it.
there is
And how do you feel about, like, so in my case, so many people are pressuring me to speak, and